going to show you the exact 3-step process I used to quiet the chaos, separate fact from fear, and finally transition your brain from survival mode into absolute peace. So let's untangle the mess. I had to take a good long look at myself and recognize that my own nervous system was in survival mode. Once I can finally see it happening in real time, I knew where to begin. I started helping my nervous system feel safe enough in one of the most emotionally overwhelming seasons of my life, where I was grieving two people that I love dearly. I got to the point with feeling so overwhelmed, like my brain was under attack. Every time I asked a question without getting an answer, just led me to more and more questions. And it was running in a loop that wouldn't stop. That's when I started recognizing the sensation of being in feeling like I had a beehive in my head because of that sensation. But when the brain is disrupted, overstimulated, overwhelmed, we become dysregulated. And I had to look inward and trying to help myself regulate to calm down and relax. So I came up with a 3-step process to help calm the nervous system, organize the thoughts, and just bring the body to a state from a survival state to a peaceful state. So the first step was a meditation process. And it wasn't that meditation solved all my problems. It was designed to create space. There's a toy that I want to get that when it's an expandable toy, you open it up and it retracts and expands. And that's literally how my brain felt. My body felt that way too. I imagined the space in my cells, in my atoms, and which were mostly space anyway. I imagined this space because my brain just felt so dense with thoughts. And when I meditated, it created that space. And after meditation, I journaled. And the journaling was a way to sort and sift through the thoughts and separate the fact from fear. And the journaling process I found very, very helpful because I was able to see from one day to the next how my thoughts and feelings changed dramatically. And all those thoughts and feelings were fears that 99% of them weren't true. They were just things that I was conjuring up in my mind. So by putting those fears out on paper, it purged my mind and created even more space. The third step of the process is writing letters to God. And what I did was I printed the question on one side and I hand wrote on the other side. And what it did was I was allowed to take the burden that I was carrying that wasn't mine to carry. Where I was trying to be in control, it wasn't for me to control. I had to let go of control of everything that I had no right being in control of. So I took off the burden by writing the letters. And sometimes the answers, I didn't understand them in the moment, but after reading back, I was able to see clarity in the answers. And it brought me so much peace. And I had to keep doing it on a regular basis to keep that consistent feeling. It felt so comforting and it felt like relief. Create a better life for yourself so you feel more connected to the people that you love and more connected to yourself. And you can learn how to manage your emotions easily. Learning how to regulate my nervous system has been the best thing I could have ever done for myself. Not because it made everything easy, but because it stopped fear from taking up so much space in my body. So if your racing thoughts won't slow down, maybe you're asking yourself the wrong question. Instead of asking yourself, how do I stop these thoughts? Start asking yourself, what is my body trying to tell me right now? Maybe you're not broken. Maybe there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe your body's just overwhelmed and your body's trying to tell you something and it's time to listen. And maybe all the learning and overthinking is just overwhelming your nervous system even more. So it's not a learning problem, it's a regulation problem. For years, I believed that peace would come when I would finally figure it all out. And now I see it differently. Peace didn't come from having all the answers. Peace came to me when I finally learned how to let go of having all the answers. And it came from learning to ask the right questions and which questions needed to be placed in God's hands. I had to learn how to let go of control and trust myself and have faith in God that things are working out. And letting go of control was one of the biggest burdens that I let go of. And when that buzzing sound in my head finally subsided, I was able to hear my voice saying, "Do your best and let go of the rest." Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye for now.